Hi, this is Paul. I'm coming back with TTM episode number 64. I have 7 returns. It was a slow week. I think it's been a slow week for everybody. But before I go on, I need to go over a couple things. First of all, I don't know if anybody's following the Little League World Series, but I want to give a congratulations to the Fairfield, Connecticut Little League. They won the Metro region and they are going to the Little League World Series. So if anybody wants to know why I have a vested interest in the Fairfield, Connecticut Little League, it's because both my great nephews live in Fairfield, Connecticut and play in the Fairfield Little League, except they are a little young to the level that the Little League World Series is. But they one of my great nephews is 5, the other one is 8. The 5-year-old just started T-ball. The 8-year-old is currently in the stage where the coaches are pitching, but he's going to be graduating to where the opposing team is going to be pitching. So they're still a few years away from that level. But if anybody doesn't have an invested interest in the Little League World Series, if you could kind of, I'm not telling you to watch it. If you can root for the Fairfield, Connecticut Little League, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So go Fairfield, Connecticut. Now, the other thing, I want to say rest in peace to Jim Lovell, former NASA astronaut. He flew 4 missions. He flew 4 missions, 2 Gemini missions. He flew Apollo 8, and he was most famous for flying, being the commander of Apollo 13. Now, Apollo 8, they went to the moon during Christmas in 1968, and they were the first humans to orbit the moon. They didn't land on the moon. That was Apollo 11, but they were the first Earthlings or whatever human beings to orbit the moon. And because it was Christmas Eve, they read part of the Genesis out of the Bible. So, of course, Jim Lovell was portrayed in Ron Howard's Apollo 13 by Tom Hanks, who did a great job. And actually, Jim Lovell had a cameo when the astronauts came back safely to the moon, and they were on the aircraft carrier. Jim Lovell didn't have a speaking part, but he played like one of the admirals. You see him shaking Tom Hanks' hand, shaking his own hand, well, whatever. But there's a connection with the movie Apollo 13, and I think I mentioned it. At the time, they did their live broadcast, and that was before the oxygen tank exploded in the service module. But by then, people were disenchanted with the moon program. And so usually the major networks at the time, CBS, NBC, and ABC, would carry the live broadcast. They didn't. And that infuriated Mrs. Lovell. But what was funny is the mission controllers in Houston had no desire to watch it because they were watching a Houston Astros game. And if anybody saw Apollo 13, there's a clip of the toy cannon, great player, the toy cannon Jim Wynn completing a home run trot, and across the screen they flash Jim Wynn. That's what they used to do 50, 60 years ago. So that's the sports connection with that. So now let's get to the TTMs. I appreciate everybody listening to me ramble. So the first one is a 3-1 in 72 days from Dave Anderson. He signed this 92 Fleer card when he was at the Giants. And then he signed 2 index cards. Now, I did send to him, I can't remember the team, but he was the manager of one of those developmental leagues. So the same type of league that Mickey Tettleton was managing in. And I believe their season is over now. So if you want to send to them, don't send to the stadium. So then the next one is a 101 in 93 days on another 92 Giant Fleer card. But not a Giant Fleer card, but a 92 Fleer of a San Francisco Giants player. Brian Hickerson, 101 93 days. The next one is a 1-on-1 in 9 days from Dave Tobick. He signed the 81 Tops. Last time I had sent him, and I got an RTS, so I don't know what happened with that, but I resent it and got it back. So the next one is a 2-2 in 12 days from John Orton. He signed this 90 Fleer Major League Prospects card, which completed it because I had gotten Scott Leyes earlier. Nice to get those dual cards completed, so thank you, Mr. Orton. And then I got another 92 Fleer of John Orton. So thank you, Mr. Orton. The next one is a 3-1 in 16 days from Mark Knutson. He signed the 88 Tops with an inscription. I believe 41 is his uniform number. I don't know what the TS stands for, I'll be honest with you. And then he signed 2 index cards. 1 and then 2. And then the next one is a 3-1 in 145 days from Morgan Shepherd on this 94 Action Pack card. And then he signed 2 index cards. 1, 2. And then the last one is a 3-1 in 75 days from Fred Tolliver. He signed this 89 Tops. And a little sympathy to the fans of Minnesota, what they did to the team in the trade deadline. And then he signed 2 index cards. He signed Freddie Tolliver. That's how he signed the card. 1 and 2. So other than that, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. And everybody have a nice weekend. And we will talk to everybody later.